Hello, society. I'm here to tell you that I love love.
She's lying.
Okay, I hate love.
That's it.
But I love you guys. So enjoy your VD.
What is up, humanity? Spacebug coming at ya. And today I wanted to talk about my friend V. V passed away last Sunday. 2 Sundays ago. The Sunday before Easter. And V is my best friend. Like, I live with my sister, and her roommate Denise took me in. They took me in when my house burned down in 2018. And so it was the 3 of us adults, and then some kids, Denise's kids, Nick and Matt, but they're not part of the story right now. So there's 3 of us adults, and then the most important other adult in the world to us would be V. Like, we've all lived with V more than once. And it was unexpected. Like, she didn't have any health concerns that were, you know, a concern for life, you know. So our family has been pretty seriously impacted by the loss of this person. She was our best friend. She was our 4th, you know? Like, we are all interchangeable as far as best friend, sibling, like. Until we lost one of ours. We lost one of our closest possible humans. And I know you never lose anybody. I know it's just energy, and energy is eternal, and we've all made contact with it since she passed, but
What type of bucket am I? I'm a cow bucket. Once again, fuck. Make a face. That's how you start them. Now stab your face. You're a Halloween bucket.
sorry, that's not what this is supposed to be. This is just supposed to be talking about how great V was, not about how much we're gonna miss her. So, we met in my sister's basement and instantly clicked. It was like a natural click. And so we found out we lived like walking distance from each other. And within a week, I'm sure it had to be within a week. I invited her over, so she came over to hang out. And it's just like, you know how sometimes people are just home to you? Like, it's this feeling that you know it if you know it. And I'm sure everybody knows it for somebody or something, you know. That was it with V. Like, it was instant, and it was unquestionable, and so profound. And don't get me wrong, she's a complete psychopath. And we had one big fight ever, and came back together stronger for it. I always say that you don't really know how good your friendship is with someone until after you've had a falling out. Because then if you come back after that, then that's your family. Like, that's your real family. But it seems like it was no time at all, and I was having her babysit my cats at the time, Scribs and Nugget. And that's crazy, because if you know me, then you know how I'm about my cats. And I trusted her. Like, it was instant, because she fit. And it didn't matter how many times that they'd be like, let me in, let me out, let me in, let me out. She was down with it. She was like the best, you know, babysitter cat aunt on that note. And this is a huge, huge thing to be able to say about anybody. You don't meet a lot of people like that. And then my cat Scribs was a crazy recluse. She never trusted anybody. She slept on B, and surprisingly, Nugget, who really, really doesn't sit on people, he slept on B too. When we were living in the garage of the house that burned down, he crawled right up on B and he went to sleep. I think I'm the only person who's ever slept on him. But that's how it was.
Act like I've been pro now. Going on about 9 years. Act like they've been toasting. Raise up glass and hey. Went through hell and it hadn't dawned on me. I had gotten up.
When your friend plays the Mayday playlist that you sent her. Wait till they get low to me. Cooley High listening party, bitches.
Before the fire was like within months of meeting B. But before that, like, I didn't even know that I needed to have a friend. Like, I didn't know I needed somebody. I didn't know that I was suffering emotionally. But somehow she knew, and like, she would obstinately plant herself in my way. Like, you need somebody. I'm not going to listen to you. You tell me to leave. I'm just going to be here. She taught me so much about caring about people and about knowing that I care about people. Because it was just safer to not care. You know, like, it's a security mechanism or a self-protection, self-preservational thing. It's just safer to not have feelings. And me was having none of it. Me lost her husband like 20 years ago in a drinking and driving accident. They were not the drinking and driving people. It was somebody else. So don't drink and drive. But David was her husband. And that's the only person that ever really, I think, seen me until she got to know me and my sister, Denise. Like, for 20 years, nobody's seen her. Who she really was. Like, who she really was. And it's a goddamn shame, because crazy as fuck. But one of the best people ever. She was funny and super smart, even though she didn't know she was smart. She had no idea how smart she was. But if you can follow what I'm talking about, you're probably pretty smart. And she never had a problem. Like, we were going through the woods one day, just walking in the woods, smoking a joint, because for some reason, V got me out of the house, and she got me to do things like that. And we were talking about magic, and I was trying to trick her into something, like figuring out what I was trying to tell her, and she just stopped and she said, so what you're saying is, if you make your own spell, it's gonna work the best. And I was just like floored. I was like, me, that's the most important principle, and you just totally nailed it. Because she was smart. And she was gifted. She wanted to counsel children and women who've been through abuse, and I know she would have been great at it. She had a really hard life. Like, unnecessarily unfair hard. She lived outside in Kalamazoo, Michigan through a whole winter. Like, not, like, we just lived in the house, and we had, like, the wood stove and the shit, but she didn't have a shelter. She didn't have a foundation or a home base, and she still lived in, that's like the most hardcore thing I've ever heard. I know one other person, my kid I adopted, Kenny, he lived outside in the winter too, and I can't even begin to explain to anybody who hasn't been in a similar situation how fucking significant their survival skills are. Like they will survive anything. And when we were in the garage through the winter, I remember we went outside with a sawzall. Because we didn't have a chainsaw or something, and we were trying to chop wood for the wood stove with a sawzall at like 3 in the morning, because it was that or die, it was that or freeze. Like that was our only option. And we did it. We, we kept it warm. I would have died a couple of times without me. That's the truth. I truly wouldn't be here. And like literally we could have kept a group of people alive off the grid, no problem. And I know that I can do it still, but it would have been a lot more fun with me.
Only one card though. It's pretty neat. The Empress, whatever. Fuck you. Hit again. Strength. I guess that's how you do it. There you go. See now. You'll have a kid with a Cancer. If you are a Cancer and you have a kid, does that count?
Yeah.
We're almost ready for bed, so you guys don't have to deal with this anymore. Oh, I know a Taurus I'd like to be best friends with.
Won $2,000 on the lottery, so now we're going to spend it all at the casino.
Hooray!
She just... One time we were driving to my sister's house before I moved back in, and we seen this desk on the side of the road. It's like a free desk, trash pickup or something. And we're like, oh my god. And we were in a car, but somehow it took us like 20 minutes to get this desk into the car. And we were driving down the road after we finally got it in. It was hell. It was literal hell getting this bitch in there. Like, my doors might not even been closed. I'm good with the rope though. And she always had bungee cords. And so we got it in there. Like, we were driving down the road towards my sister's house after that. And like 20 yards before we got to my sister's house, we're like, one of us said something and we realized neither one of us wanted the desk. Like, neither one of us wanted it. We both thought that the other one wanted it. And so we stopped the car and we laughed and then we hit reverse. And we went back and we dropped the fucking desk back off. And it was the funniest fucking shit ever. Like, it was hilarious. We never forgot that. We always talked about it. I don't even know if we were high, but we were a little bit high because we were laughing our asses off. Another thing you should know about V is that V would give you a bunch of shit that you didn't want. All the time. All the time. I've got tons of shit that she gave me that I have absolutely no desire for, but she didn't care. She'd seen something and she thought about people, and so she thought, I'm gonna give this to them, like, this reminds me of them, or they need this, and relentlessly she would bring people stuff that was just so random that it was a V thing, and sometimes she'd bring you your own stuff, because V was also a kender. If you know Dragonlance, you know what a kender is, but if you don't, then kender means childlike, and they don't have any like awareness of ownership, so they'll like pick something up, put it in their pocket. It's no big deal, and they'll leave stuff behind, even no value is important. Like, they could leave you $100 fucking ring and take a $2 flashlight, but it was gonna happen. And then later on, when you needed a flashlight, she would hand you your own flashlight. And that was one of her best qualities. Like, after she passed, we were laughing, thinking, how much of our stuff are we gonna find when we go through her V's stuff with her daughter? Like, how much of it's gonna be stuff that was ours anyway? And I bet you there's a lot. Because that was one of her best things, is she just didn't give a fuck about stuff. Like, no valued items. She just fucking randomly traded this stuff out, and it caught her attention. And she always thought about other people, and she always thought about everybody else all the time. And I don't even think anybody, her daughter knows, Nikki knows, and me and Boo and Denise know, but like, V was so selfless. Like, even if she had one of something, she wouldn't even keep half. She'd give you one if she thought you needed it. You didn't even have to tell her you needed it. Like, she could be wrong, but she thought you needed it and she needed it. If you needed it, she'd give it to you. Like, this is who she was. We healed my heart a lot after everything I went through, and I won't lose those lessons just because she's not on the physical plane anymore. I'm not gonna go backwards because it was time for her to go. Like, I'll never forget how much she gave me as a human being. Like, she taught me a lot, and she healed a lot. And I'm so grateful I got to know her.
I just got kicked off of Facebook because of my language. I don't even swear that fucking much. Fuck them for trying to fucking restrict me. Cocksuckers. And oh, I've outsmarted them because I can post on Instagram and then I'll post to Facebook. Say something.
What?
Answer the question.
Am I gonna have a good day today with Nikki?
It said yes and hate. Tarot card of the day? King of Pentacles. Fuck you. Fuck you. I know who that is. Fuck you. You got King of what? Oh, I can't see it on me. Pentacles too?
We used to play 8-ball pool on Messenger for Facebook, and we played at least 400 games over the course of like 5 years or some shit. I never beat her once. Ever. Not once. I'm assuming it was up to like 300, 400 games and never beat her. And I finally beat this bitch. Like the day she passed, and she never seen that I beat her. So first I thought I beat her and she died of shock. But she doesn't even know, so technically, I never beat her because she'd already passed to the other side. That's pretty cool. I will always think that is so cool. I don't know how she was so good at that fucking game. But she never, ever let me win. Like, I never win. I never won. Not once. In that much time. She's a monster. What else can I tell you about me? Oh, she had like 87 different fucking Facebook accounts. All sorts of different names. Like, I've been tagging her in the wrong Facebook account for like the last 6 months. So, there's a lot of shit that she didn't get that I sent her, I guess. She always forgot her password. She always had batteries. No matter what kind of battery you needed, she had it in her purse at all times. And they didn't like match. It wasn't like a new box of batteries. It was just always batteries randomly. Like 3 different brands of AA's, 2 other brands of fucking AAA's. Always had them. Every time. No matter what you needed. And she always brought Nugget Temptations, even though he wasn't supposed to have Temptations, because they gave him a tummy ache. She was a good aunt. And a good friend. Best is always, always. I know that now that she's passed, she knows everything because you touch the divinity when you die, but I hope she knew while she was alive how much she meant to me. I know we had our issues, and sometimes she would get the wrong impression, like, she's a little crazy. And I'm like, totally don't have emotions, so I would just not know when I was supposed to show emotions. So I don't know, like, while she was alive, if she knew how much she meant to me, but I think she did. And, like, I'm very fortunate that we were in a good spot when she left. Like, we were in a good spot. We were solid. Like, I finally got it through her head that no matter what she says or does, I'll never not be a part of her life. Like, it was no matter what. Don't lie. Like, don't whatever. Like, nothing will ever stop me from being in your life. And she finally understood that. I was like, we can fight. We're gonna fight tooth and nail, but we'll still be there. We'll still be best friends. So you can see the shelf behind me. V brought me that shelf. And she gave me that shelf. And every L bracket in this room pretty much came from V. Because she knew I always needed L brackets, and she just sort of came up with them en masse. People who might know me probably think, I think there's L brackets missing from my wall. I probably have them in here. Probably for sure. There's a desk behind me, or behind the computer screen that V gave me. Let me get my most prized V possession. And I don't like items. It's a long story. I'm not going to give you guys the story. But I love antique marbles. Like, I love antique marbles. These are like... If you could put like a ABC rating, like a grade rating on marble collections of rareness and quality and diversity, this is like an A+ in this fact. Like, this is an amazing collection of marbles. And whoever's watching this that knows V, who's like, those are my fucking marbles. These are my marbles. These are my V marbles. There's just... This is a German glass swirl. That's probably never what it's called anymore. It's been a long time since I knew, but it's got all the best marbles. I've been stealing marbles from everybody I know for a long time, okay? I think my sister Boo gave me this one. It's a Bulbasaur. And I stole this one out of Denise's plant. It's glow in the dark. I stole all of her glow in the dark marbles. This is like... This is who V was. She was like the best collection of marbles, all in one little spot. So you never expected it, but everything you ever wanted and ever needed, like all the stuff that you needed and wanted. That was V. And I'm gonna end it with that. I love you, V. I'll always love you. And please enjoy wiping peanut butter and jelly all over my fucking kitchen on the ship until I get there. Thank you for being my friend in this life. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Don't let Sean break too much. I'll tell David I said hello. Love you, V.